All right. And as you can see, we've got our as you can see, we've got our Mer-Mans up on the screen, and we are progressing towards getting them finished today. That is the plan.
Yep.
And how are you, Kenny? You good?
I'm well. Very, very well. Very productive week.
Yes.
You know what? So far, the year is off to a really good start. I can't complain.
Mm,
Lots of fun projects on the horizon. I got some cool activities lined up for my students. Right.
nice.
So far so good. How's your week been?
It's been about the same. I think 2024 has been a really exciting and abundant beginning. Like it's just been, there's been so much going on and so much flow happening with our projects and what's going on and lots of opportunities. So I'm pretty pumped about this year. I feel really good about it. So
Love it.
it's going to be an incredible year, I feel. But let's look at our Mer-Man. How are we doing with them?
Yeah. So for those of you that have been keeping up with how Will and I do these streams, right? We essentially don't touch the artwork until we're live on stream with you guys.
I
So
broke
that
that rule.
yeah.
I broke that rule this week. I had
well,
to.
well, you got a bit of a pass, right? Because you're working with a different medium,
Yeah,
right? So like you have to kind of go in there and kind of touch up certain areas. But me personally, because my base medium is watercolor, um,
yes,
I have the lane to just kind of like let it sit and settle for the week, and then I come back when we're live on stream,
yeah,
so that I can so that you guys in the audience can see the full process, right?
correct. Yeah,
Um, so far, I think last week we added some black lines using a quill. I'm going to add some more heavy blacks in certain areas, just kind of push this little torso area into some shadows here.
yeah,
Add some more details into the water just a bit, and I think I would be done for the most part,
right.
right? And then I do want to fill in some of these white areas with like the moss and seaweed kind of hanging off of them.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think that would kind of cap off what I'm trying to do here.
yeah, yeah. No,
And
that it looks great, Kenny. You really a lot of impact with this one. I think this would be my favorite one you've done so far.
oof, thank you. That means a lot, honestly. So I do have some ideas for Man at Arms, which is the next one that we're going to jump
Ooh.
into once we wrap
Shall,
this.
shall we shall we talk a little bit about Man at Arms before we start Merman?
Absolutely,
All right.
absolutely.
So what I've got here, I've got a little bit of a drawing. This is the original illustration or concept drawing of Man at Arms, where they
Yep.
produced it to show, the collect them all kind of stuff on the back of the action figures.
Right.
Um, oops, I've just lost the image. Hang on, let me just bring them up again. But what I love about it is that here we go. We're back again. All right. So what I love about it is that it shows the original toy in all of its glory. So you've got all the minimal toning, but it's very plastic looking as the
Yep.
toy is. You can see, we've got a pair of black trunks this time.
Hmm.
The black
Pelt.
black pelt. And I could never figure out what was going on with his skin because I always thought it was like a green clothing, but then his hands are green. So
Yeah. So it feels like it's just one big
yeah,
leotard.
one giant bodysuit that he's wearing, which is awkward in another area. Well, I've thrown this one together. Now this shows the different iterations of the Man at Arms. So we got the
Yes.
minifigure down the bottom right hand corner. Not
Yep.
minifigure, the original mini comics, and
Hmm.
you can see it was pretty raw back then. Like they really didn't explore a great deal of it. It hadn't been planned and thought out, I guess.
Right.
They had the original concept art, and they were just going with that. But then you've got the evolving nature of his character. You can see the top right-hand corner, the Filmation cartoon that we're all familiar with, where he's adopted the Tom Selleck. He's got the moustache going on, the Magnum PI. And his trunks have gone like a terracotta. We're going with terracotta brown now.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And then you've got the one on the left, which is the Masters of the Universe series that we often talk about from the 90s.
Right.
Or early 2000s, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And the one on the right is the newest iteration of him in Revelations with Kevin Smith.
Now, I will say that the one from the earlier 2000s, from I guess the revival one,
the one on the left, yep,
that one feels the best to me. Like
right.
I think that I overall like Man at Arms' design because he feels more like a gladiator.
Yes, yeah,
Right. He's got more of a gladiator aesthetic.
yes,
Yeah. And I think I will adopt the black gloves.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yes.
as opposed to giving him just the green hand. I do like the black gloves.
The green hand of death.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like I'm gonna pull from each of these, like, because there's something about each one of them that I really, really like.
Right. Yes.
But I think the base design is gonna be that one with the black accents.
What are you thinking about for pose? Have you considered that yet?
So there's a few that I considered. There's one that I really, really like where it'll be more of a frontal view. So he'll be in the viewer's line of sight and he'll be threatening the viewer with the mace.
Nice. Yep.
So he'll hold the mace up behind him, right?
Yes.
And then there's one that I think that is loosely inspired by the pose that you use for Beastman.
Right.
It's a side profile.
Yes.
Which
would be a good one to do for him. Like you could get away with that quite easily because he's got such a, like you said, a gladiator pose to him anyway.
Yeah.
He stands well. He's interesting enough to just have him stoically standing.
Yeah. And the power of the stash.
Yes. it's all in its 80s splendor, all of it.
The stash is strong with this one.
It is, and he's kept it. He kept it so long it's come back into fashion again.
I love it.
That's the power of the stash. Yeah.
However, I think I'm going to add that 5 o'clock shadow. I really, really like the 5 o'clock shadow with the stash.
I agree.
It makes me grittier.
Yeah, I agree. He looks like an old warhorse, doesn't he? Really,
exactly.
Like he's done it many times. What are you going to do for armor though? Are you going to stick with that one on the left, or are you going to go with the Revelations one in the middle, or original? Like as in the shield, face protector, and all that kind of stuff. Are you going to stick with that, or?
I think I'm going to borrow from all of them.
Yeah.
But the Kevin Smith one, I think the Kevin Smith one makes him look a little too like cyborg.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna come back to the revival one.
Right. Yeah. The one on the left.
Yeah, the one on the left. Yeah.
Yeah. Although his legs on the left look like almost cybernetic legs, don't they?
Yeah. That's what I'm not too keen on. I do like, because I feel like it would be too much of a departure of what we've already been doing with the characters that we've done so far.
Right.
So I do like, there being more of an organic aesthetic to the character, but I love the way the armor is designed in that one.
Yes. That shoulder pad looks great. It looks like a big half shell just sitting on his...
it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's got that, like I mentioned, like how you said, he's got the old war horse, kind of gladiator kind of aesthetic going for him in that. And I think that works really, really well.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't made the decision about the moustache yet. I'm thinking I might go OG without the moustache. Although he
What?
kind of looked a
But
bit
not
odd.
the stash.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It does look a bit odd without the moustache. I'm gonna
He
say.
kind of does. I think
It's
it's
like,
He-Man without hair.
yeah, he's got an interesting look on his face too. It's like a weird dude. Like now I know why he grew the moustache. You know, gotta hide the head.
It's kind of like when people that you've known all your life with a beard shave the beard and they got really small
Right.
chins.
Yes, or they just look odd. It looks too white, like it's untanned beard area. Yeah, I know that from my own personal experience. And then after you've shaved the beard off, you realise now I know why I had the beard. Now I know why I had to hide the head. So you mentioned that you were going to do some sort of armory, like pistols and weapons and stuff too, like firing. Are you going to still do that?
I may give him, because I really like the mace.
Mm.
But then he has been depicted with like firearms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I may give him a firearm in that. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna play around with the composition live
Yeah.
today after we wrap Mer-Man. So I think
Yes.
you guys giving us some live feedback would be great. So that we can determine the direction we're moving with that.
Definitely give us some direction on this one. I mean, I'm tossing up. I've got 1,000 ideas in my brain and such a limited time frame to do it in. So I'm thinking that I'll have him on the battle ram.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm going to have him in an action scene hitting one of those little floaty hover droids that Skeletor used to have with the mace, so I can get the steel sort of coming off and things like that. So
nice.
That's what because I thought too. I thought I'd love to do him just standing there with the mace, sort of, the heavy mace, sort of looking off in the distance,
right,
as we often do.
But his life choices.
Yeah. So right. So I think what I might do is just have him on the mid-action scene. I think is what the plan is, but that might be ambitious. I don't know. I might be getting a bit ahead of myself, but
no. I think an action scene would be interesting because you could play around with a lot of light sources in the action.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Especially with like sparks coming off of the metal when it makes cool things like that.
And I'm thinking of tilting it a bit so that the battle ram's kind of sort of coming at you, but up a bit. Like you can sort of see it's like you're under a little bit.
There you go.
So he's in mid swing, like bang, like the mace is above his head, bits of steel flying up everywhere.
I like that.
Yeah, that's the plan. Let's see if we can pull it off. And a giant moustache. Well, why wouldn't you? The power of the stash.
The Magnum PI.
the Celic. I think we need to have like a little PowerPoint presentation on moustaches next live stream.
Indeed.
Just to get us into it,
Because no one wore it like Tom.
Nobody did. People tried, but
close second was Burt Reynolds.
Right. Yeah. The Smokey and the Bandit moustache was right up there. Sure. Yeah. Very good.
Tom kept it consistent along with the brows. With
That's it.
Unmatched, unsurpassed.
Absolutely. Well, let's do a welcome out to all of our people that are joining us here today, Kenny.
Welcome.
And if you're joining us for the first time, please feel free to draw along with us, paint along with us, laugh along with us, join in on the comments, and please like, subscribe, and notify, all of those fun things, so that when we do go live stream, it comes straight up to you and you know what's happening at the time. And we've got someone here already. Who we got? I don't know how to pronounce it. My hubby ha. Hello, your streams are pretty cool, so I follow you very much. Very good. Thanks, man. So would you say that's Wade or Tony? Which would you say his first name is? Might be Tony.
I would say Tony.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And sorry, Wade, if it isn't. But now it is. All right, I'm going to tackle this. I'm going to tackle this serpent now. That's the plan on this today. Got to get
Honestly,
the serpent.
that's the part I've been waiting for.
Yeah, I sort of
tentacles.
I left the corn cob sword. I haven't played around with that, but basically all I did during the week was I mixed up a little bit of raw sienna with my yellow, and a yellow ochre, and I sort of went through and just put my shadow areas in, darkened it down, added a little bit of blue and green to tint it into the shadows to cool it off, and then hit it with some white highlights just where it needed to be light, where I wanted the armor to sort of look a little bit textured, and then other areas I wanted to make look shiny and glossy so that it's wet. So yeah, that's where we're at.
What palette are you gonna go with for the creature?
So I'm going with a reddy orange creature, maybe orange. I'm thinking more of a cool red, like an alizarin crimson. Yeah,
so more like squid-like.
Yeah,
very warm palette. Okay.
Yeah, warm, but I'll use the cool red to cool off the dark areas, and that way when I add a little bit of that blue to it, it won't sort of freak out too much. But it'll be reminiscent of sort of the squid character that was out of the mini comic.
Yeah.
That was flipping around with him. So that's the plan. I don't think I'm going to go into the super details of all the spikes that the creature had on it, but because I want to keep it fairly minimal. We want it to be about the characters, not about so much about the environment.
Right. You don't want to create like that visual competition.
Exactly. Yeah. Some things have got to be subtle.
True. I mean, you want to, and this is for those that are watching, right? Like when you compose your artwork, right? Obviously, the background is just as important as the characters that inhabit it, right? But if you want, or rather, let me rephrase that. You want to keep in mind how you want your audience to consume the artwork. You have full control of that, right? So, sure, we're doing Mer-Man, but to add another layer of context to the Mer-Man, right? We're putting him in aquatic environments, right? Like Will is framing his Mer-Man emerging from a water, like coming onto a shoreline with a sea monster, right? Mine is in like a swampy sort of bog, but again, minimal details, because the stronger aspects of the stronger qualities of the artwork will be centered on the subject that we want you to consume first, right? So those are all things that go into how you compose, how you plan or thumbnail your artwork, right? That I do a lot of meticulous planning. There's very, very few times that like I'll just dive right into something, right? If I have a very clear idea that I want to tackle in my
head. Would you say it's similar to a photographer's depth of field?
Absolutely. That one of my buddies, he's a photographer, and he's made that comparison, right? Because he's a photographer first and an illustrator second.
Ooh, so dangerous mix.
I know. So like a lot of the aesthetic choices that he uses as a photographer, he applies to his illustrations.
Yes.
Like he was the one that told me about the triangles.
Yes. Right? How you the golden triangle. Yeah.
You know about it, right? So like how your artwork should incorporate triangles, like hidden in the artwork. It makes it that much more aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
It's a very, very old compositional technique. Goes back to the old painters.
Yes.
The golden triangle and the golden mean.
Mm-hmm.
And the rule of thirds. All of those things are incredible. And I think most people too, when they're creating art and they become reasonably competent in knowing what works really well.
Mhm.
When you teach them that, they can actually see it already. They're already doing it.
Exactly.
It becomes almost like a hidden mathematics that we all know, like a
Exactly.
code.
And it was something that I saw in a portrait that they had blew up. It was a photo that he took that he made really large, and I'm like, there's something about this piece that really speaks to me, and
Yes.
it was in that piece that he was like, it's the triangles, dude, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he started pointing out the triangles, and as soon as he did it, it was like the curtain was pulled back. I started seeing the triangles everywhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's something about it. It's kind of like the Fibonacci stuff. It's something that's coded in us where we see it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Absolutely, and you know that's one of the things that I absolutely love about this craft, right? Is just
Yeah.
the optical illusions and how the brain registers those illusions, and
Yes.
you know what feels natural, what feels unnatural.
Correct. And I think too, like it's going back to the compositional choices we make as an artist. It's about where we want you to go. I mean, there's a certain amount of control in terms of directing the viewer.
Yep.
And everything that's put in place, whether it's a negative space or whether it's the angle on or a pose on a body in the positive space,
Right.
or whether it is lighting, texture, tone, or even the drop away of a background or the movement in the background. It's about moving and manipulating the viewer's eye around the canvas or around the page.
Right.
So where a composition doesn't work is when it doesn't keep you within that page, and that's where you see those triangles or the rule of thirds or the infinity shapes to keep the viewer within the frame. Otherwise, if they drop off the page, you've lost them.
That's right.
It's like we talked about when we first started the Mer-Man a couple of weeks ago. We talked about the depiction of reality compared to creating a reality. And to create an effective reality in our picture, we've got to keep you there. We can't keep you there if the composition doesn't work.
True.
It's got to flow. So you can see already that red's reacting with the green, which is nice. It's pushing it all forward.
Absolutely. He immediately jumps out at you.
Yeah. It's in conflict, which is nice. And I'll probably go through and put just a touch here and there of that red, just here and there in the shadows, so that it then unifies the two together and we get what we call a local color.
Yep.
And that's just what we do when we're thinking, when we're painting. We're thinking, okay, I've got to put that there. I've got to bring that forward. I've got to do that there. These are the 1,000,001 questions that are rattling around in our brains as we're painting.
Absolutely. It's all
or drawing.
All problem solving.
I went back to the grey ledge this week, as you saw, Kenny, just for the first time in a while.
And man, I can tell that you're really at home doing that.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's familiar. There's no oh my god, I can't work this medium. It's one I've done a lot of times.
Yeah, like it like I can tell, like just through the strokes, like you were having a really good time with it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It was fun.
It's one of those things that once you work out, and for those listening on that obviously haven't seen it, it's a portrait.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that when you work out the familiarities of what the person looks like, that's when the fun begins. So you've got that hill's already been claimed, and you're sort of then playing around with tone and getting it, getting your layers right. Because with a pencil portrait, I always start with an F pencil or a H, and then I build my layers up so it becomes very, very soft. It doesn't always show up on a photo, but the idea is that by the time you finish it, there's not a great deal of lead sheen happening on the page.
Right.
That it's all about soft layers of pencil building up
Now,
slowly over time.
do you soften your values with a brush, or do you use that
No,
with or you use the graphite itself?
I use the pencil. So none of it. I don't brush. I don't smudge. It's all strokes.
Nice.
So when I was about 18, maybe younger, I met a guy through my art teacher. It was her father, and he was an incredible pencil drawer, and he's the one that inspired me to do pencil work. But he did it purely because he was colorblind. He couldn't do color.
Oh wow.
But he spent his life doing these incredible grey lead pencils, and they were so soft that you could almost feel the skin on these drawings. Like, they're incredible. But and when he'd tell his kids off at home, they would swap his grey lead pencils for coloured ones because he didn't know. Just to mess with his brain.
That's kind of mean.
So what I learned was that you could do fine art in grey lead pencil. It didn't need to be an oil painting or something, or marble. It could be that. And it was probably the first time I'd ever seen real art in the flesh that wasn't in a museum.
Wow.
So it became achievable. You start to see, I can do that. I could do this. Yeah. But he taught me the notion that you build up your layers slowly through the grades of pencil, and you don't smudge. And there's no problems. I have no problem with people smudging, but he was quite stoic about that. You don't smudge, you don't smear, you do it by hand. But he did it every stroke he did was using. He would do line strokes, so it'd be one at a time. Whereas I don't. That doesn't tend to work for me so well. I tend to use little circles, like similar to when I'm tattooing.
Right. That's my approach too. I do a lot of circles, little circles, and then very, I vary up the diameter of the circle, like depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah, mine are probably almost frustratingly tight, my drawings. So they tend to be very, very close, and it hurts the hand after a while, but it's just the only way I can get up to build those layers. I guess there's probably easier ways to do it, but that's just my way of doing it.
Yeah.
But I spent most of the 90s doing that stuff, pencil drawing portraits and wildlife and lots of Wild West and American Indians. They were popular in the 90s.
Very cool. Yeah, no, absolutely. The values that you're able to get away with, when it comes to portrait art, when it comes to life drawing in general, using lead, the amount of value that you can create with a single medium, it's always been fascinating to me. It was seeing Rockwell's pencil drawings is what got me into doing life drawing in middle school.
Is that right? There you go.
Yes, sir. It was Rockwell that inspired me to get into life drawing in middle school.
Yeah, right. Mr. Rockwell. Well, we're going to do a study of him, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
That'll be fun.
We're going to do studies of some of our some of the greats and some of our favorites.
Yes.
So
looks like a big red donut at the moment. Ooh, donut. I'm just trying to turn the form a bit so I can see it sort of flipping, and those areas that I've left, I'll hit it with a bit of highlights, I think.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. Yeah.
So these areas here I've left a bit thinner, so that I can add a bit of yellow and white.
Yes.
To get a highlighter, and then up here will be straight white as it looks wet, flipping around. So what's happening in the big world of art this week, Kenny, for you?
This week, not too much. More planning. right?
Yep.
Because next week I have my classes going on in at the private school.
Yep.
So I got a new set of students and a few that are returning.
Yes.
I got some new stuff that I'm going to be doing with them. Uh, at the studio that I teach at in Miami, we are planning on doing a year-end art show.
Oh, nice.
Yes, just for the kids, right? So it's something that they can kind of look forward to. Invite their
Oh, you
parents
got to
out.
do it. Yeah, it's a good showcase. You got to do it.
So I'm making sure that my tribe, right? Because I teach specifically comic and cartoon art at the studio, right?
Right.
There's other classes there, right? There's teen creative. There's like multi art for like the smaller kids and so on.
Yeah.
All of the other instructors, are going to get their kids organized and get them kind of psyched up about the year-end art show.
Oh, that's cool.
So I want to make sure that my group shines. You know what I mean? Like
Gives them, yeah.
I told him the other day, I was like, I need your hands strong. I'm like Pai Mei,
Yes.
Kill Bill. I need all you punching through 2x4.
Yep.
Right? But they're super excited about it. So I'm gonna have them work on creating original comic strips.
Nice.
And I got the material list for them and so forth. So because that group, as you would expect, they're into a lot of American comics and manga, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to be teaching them like a lot of those production skills, right? That they
Yes.
need to create the work and have it feel very authentic, right? I got one kid, he's 13, 14 years old, and he draws like Mike Mignola.
Really?
Yeah, and it's crazy because he's never heard of him, right? He's never heard of him, right? But his style is boxy, right?
Yeah.
And the way he hatches is like Mike.
That's cool. Got that minimized sort of tone too, so it's shadows and mid-tone. There's
Absolutely.
no highlight. Yeah. That's very cool.
So I'm interested to see, and he's heavy into sci-fi.
Nice.
Sci-fi. So I'm interested to see what this kid would come up with.
Yeah. Introduce him to a bit of BPRD at the end of the semester.
Indeed. Indeed. So here, what I'm doing is I'm splashing in, I'm using a wet brush with a little bit of burnt sienna just so I can get some of these lower tones in the yellow. Right, so that the armor has a little bit of a glisten, right? Feels a bit kind of, it's got like a golden kind of luster to it. Get some of that in the gloves as well over the lemon. I'm gonna just keep it to like these higher points of the lemon yellow. Right.
Very cool.
I'm not going to go really heavy with it because in the last session I used some of the cerulean to cool down some of the areas in the lemon yellow to create some shape language, the curvature in the gloves, the curvature in the staff itself, and in the trident. So,
and you don't want to loosen up what's underneath it either, I guess, as well.
Exactly. So I just want to push some of this yellow so it has a little bit of a luster with the burnt sienna.
Nice.
Because it's all about the shape language and how that reads.
Indeed.
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 And what do you got going on, Will?
Well, that portrait work was I thought it was the last commission I had, but then I picked up another one last night, so that was good.
Sweet.
But I am, I suppose, just getting the Harvest Moon Studios, the tattoo studios, just about done, so that's good.
Nice.
It's
You got a
that's
lot
what I'm
left to
still.
go?
Not too much, really. It's just sort of getting some tradespeople out to hook up the electricity now. I can do most things, but I'm not going to muck around electricity.
No. I don't blame you.
Because my wife will come out and go, "What's that smell? It smells like burnt hair," and it's just me cooking away, zapped in the studio. It smells like a burnt raccoon. What is that? It's me. It's me. That's been frying away. I'll be one of those news stories, you know.
Yeah.
Man found after 32 hours of being cooked in the studio. Hardly recognizable. Lots of slippage. Look at him. Look at the damage. And then my wife will go, "No, that's just actually what he looked like." But that's okay.
No. He looked like that before. He looked like that.
That's what he looked like under the beard. That's why we under the stash.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of tattoo conventions in Australia, or at least in your part of Australia?
Tattoo ones, yeah, they're becoming bigger. Like it's a booming industry, really,
Yeah.
which is good. I like that. But they are becoming more and more popular. But yeah, I think there's some coming up in Sydney and Melbourne pretty soon.
Nice.
It's yeah, it's something I haven't, because I'm only fairly new to it. I haven't tapped into it really yet, but
Right.
but I'm going to be doing some comic conventions this year, I think.
Very nice.
Which will be good. Now that we've got a bit more product out. Yeah, I don't want to do much more than that, Kenny. I think I want to keep it fairly simple.
Okay.
I think the tentacles, because otherwise I could sit there doing this forever and then I lose it, you know.
That reads really well. I like the twist in that tentacle. That reads really well.
Nice and chunky.
Yeah.
And then I've just got to decide how shallow I want to make this water or how deep.
Mm.
What's the next convention for you guys in the States? What are you booked in for?
The next convention that I'll be appearing at is Beyond Comic-Con. That's going to be February 17th. Beyond Comic-Con. It's a one-day event. It's very family-oriented. It's family-owned and operated. It's free at the door. So, we encourage if you guys are going to be in the South Florida area, or if you live in North Miami, look out for Beyond Comic-Con. I'll be there. I'm one of the featured artists that's on the site for the show. They're in year 3 of this event, and every year it gets bigger and better.
They are popular, aren't they?
They are. I mean, there isn't a whole lot that goes on in that part of Miami.
Right.
So, the fact that they're able to put on the event and, have it reach the level of popularity that it's had over the 3 years, it's a great thing, because it's a small show, but it's like in the middle of a community.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, it's a lot of the local community people that come out and, get the convention experience that they wouldn't normally get, at like, say, the Miami Beach Convention Center. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a nice
event.
show. Yeah. Perfect for family.
Very cool.
And then after that, I think it's Puerto Rico in March.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The big one.
That is the
I
big
reckon,
one.
I reckon your Masters of the Universe stuff will fly off the shelves up there.
Shoot.
Hey?
They were already turning heads here.
Yeah, that's good. People love their Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
I never realized it, how much people loved it.
Yeah.
It's got a huge fan base.
It's the nostalgia, the
Yeah.
childhood, right?
Yeah.
But to see it in such a new way, I think is what kind of resonates
Yeah.
with a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think too that it's handcrafted. I mean, I see a lot of stuff that looks awesome,
Yeah.
but it's all digital, so it makes it a bit harder to get that secondary sale value.
Yeah.
Talking about very cool colorist, our good friend Rob Powers did a live stream on Instagram the other day. Did you catch that one?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he was live coloring one of the pandas for his book. It was like a Day of the Dead bear.
Oh,
Yeah, very cool. He's so quick. It's a magic in itself when I watch people doing shortcuts and commands, and I'm like, whoa,
yeah.
it's another gift in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you do want to check Rob Powers out, he's at Def Shogun.
Def Shogun, yes.
Def Shogun.
He's Def Shogun here on Twitch. For those of you that are watching on Twitch, he's Def Shogun on Instagram, and I think he's Def Shogun on TikTok as well.
Yes. And he's another one like you that is just constantly innovating, producing, building IP. You know, like he's got his Penguino's Revenge, and he's got this new one that he's working on. He's got the honey, the bees one that he's doing. Always creating. So he's one to watch, I think.
Absolutely. Well, he's a good guy to support.
Absolutely, yeah. Good family man too. If you are joining us, we've got about 4 people in the room with us at the moment, which is good.
Welcome.
Triple welcomes. and if you are with us, say hello in the chats.
Yeah. Happy Friday to you. If you're over here stateside, happy Saturday morning to you if you're down under.
Indeed. Or somewhere else amazing that we haven't heard of.
True. Gonna add a little bit more of this purple to the sky here. Get it a little closer to Mer-Man.
All right, it's getting tricky. I've got to say, Kenny, I've had fun doing Mer-Man. Mer-Man's been a pleasure to draw.
I agree.
I kind of love the flamboyant nature of the colors in these character designs. Like, as much as we make fun of the flesh gauntlets, you know, and the canculets and the parking brake handles for the weapons. As much as we make fun of that stuff, I love it. I love all of it. It's just, you kind of let loose with the colors. It's like a Mardi Gras or something, isn't it? It's so bright.
Yeah, it's a departure from what we typically do. So, and that's part of the objective of working through these challenges, right? You're doing something outside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
And just kind of removing that veil of difficulty.
Yes, indeed. We've got and our friend of the show and friend of our Artists of the Universe Facebook site, Nate Stones, has been cranking out the He-Man stuff.
Yeah.
He's jumped off our one, but he's doing his own 366 challenge. So he's doing a year's worth of them. And he's kind of like doing one a day. Like, he's just really turning. He's up to Triclops.
Well, he'd have to. I mean,
yeah, I know. It'd be a life journey. If he did it at my pace, this is my life's work. Here's your legacy, children. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah,
Other people
your
bought their kids a car,
legacy.
but he's doing great. I'm really pleased to see him doing. He's having a lot of fun. You can see it.
Yeah, that's important.
But I can't help but thinking as we're doing these, what the next one's going to be like.
Ooh, yeah.
The next challenges.
Did we decide?
I still think we had it thrown up in the air. We're still tossing up between Transformers or G.I. Joe or Star Wars. I think it was those three we're still playing around with.
I think Transformers should be the next one.
You think so?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
how big do you want to make it? Are we going to do a Gen 1 Transformers or Transformers the movie? Like, how far do you want to go?
Nah, let's keep it Gen 1. I mean, in theme of what we've been doing here, we keep it Gen 1, but we kind of flip it and give it an air of realism to it, right? We give it our own little flavor to it.
Correct.
Because G.I. Joe would be fun, but those are all human characters. Those are all like,
they are, yeah.
Hey, vet. Those are all human characters, and that's we do that all the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what's been good about this one. It's a bit of a mix of everything, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm fun watching. Well, his eyes come up a lot. Less days looking.
Correct.
Yes, it's like he's on his meds now. He's got his meds.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far. He still kind of looks a bit off the meds, Mer-Man, but he just looks a bit more glassier, I guess.
Yeah. Yes.
Thanks, Yvette. Not that we're here to judge Mer-Man or
at all,
or people that are like Mer-Man and off his meds.
At all.
If that's your thing. That's your thing.
Yeah. No judgment here. It's all
now I'm flipping this page around, as you can see, because I am using the natural curve of my hand to get these shapes so that I'm not working against my own anatomy to get shaky lines. I have no shame in flipping a page around.
Yeah, you got to do it. It's always what's best for the art.
Yeah. Nothing worse than a shaky line.
Oof. Now I think we're gonna lay in some detail lines in the driftwood. I think I maybe.
I do love your Bob. I love your Bob Ross attack on the paintbrush through the water. I love it.
Yeah, because you know what it is. I found these cool little cups, right?
Yes.
That fit into the little cup slots of my drafting table. These little shot glasses, right?
Yep.
And they're perfect, right? So all I do is fill two of them up, one with clean water, to activate the paint, and then the other one I clean the brush, and my workflow is going.
Perfect.
So it definitely does the job, and having that one cup with like the dirty ink water gives me some really nice gray effect.
Nice.
So I keep a third one like close by whenever I use the thing.
Not to be confused with the coffee cup.
No. It's for me it's too late for coffee. It's like a little after 7.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'd be up cleaning the living room and vacuuming.
Yeah. Out there mowing the lawn. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Driving the neighbors and Melissa crazy.
Or wanting to talk the eccentricities of the universe. when you hop into bed and she's trying to sleep.
You know, I'd ask you dumb questions like, why is it that hot dogs come 12 to a pack, but buns only come 8?
Yes.
Why is that?
I know it's 4 a.m, but can we talk about the subatomic level of quantum mechanics? Are you awake? That's the best question.
Caffeine out of coffee, so they get the caffeinated coffee. How do they do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you start coughing up, you don't even hear them go, because they're still asleep. You just keep going. Keep going, lean into it.
I'll tell you.
That's funny.
Some of these in here, just a little
You don't need the coffee, Kenny. You're up quite late anyway, aren't you?
No, I am. That I am. That last night in particular, I was up until about almost 4.
You're right.
And usually, you know, if I don't have anything that I need to get up for the following day, I'm up until about 3, give or take. You know, just to work. If I got a class early the next day, I'll call it around 2 a.m. and then, you know, I'm up at like 7:45 to get going. But thankfully, it's not like I have like a full day of classes. It's not like a full day of classes, right?
Yeah.
So after I'm done with teaching at the studio, I'm able to kind of come home, have a little bit of lunch, take a nap.
Oh, living the dream. living the dream, man.
You know, I'm able to do that. I'm able to come home, take a little nap. You know what I mean? And then after I recharge the battery, I'm up and going again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the quick power coma is always a good recharge point, isn't it?
Oh yeah. That I'm very, very thankful for. Otherwise, I'd be painting out of my lines. I'd be all over this place.
Yes, mumbling incoherently. Yes. Dribbling. Hallucinating. Yeah. All the good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. My eyes would look like Mer-Man right here.
Off meds, Kenny.
That's it. All right. I think I may be done here.
You're getting pretty close.
I think I'm there. Well, I could clean up that white glob there. That white glob is bothering me. Let's tighten that up just a bit. There's too much of a gloss in this eye, so we're gonna remove. I'll cover up some of this white glob with some black ink. All right, so we got a little more control on how the curvature of his eye reads. All right. No, it doesn't feel so sloppy. It does feel a little better. I think I can break up the curvature here. A white ring.
What are you thinking about for your background on the Man-at-Arms piece, Kenny?
Oof, that's a good question. I don't even think I've made it that far in my thought process.
Yeah.
I haven't made it that far in my thought process. I figured, you know, as soon as I sit down to kind of render the gesture and composition,
right,
you know, something will occur to me. Something will hit me.
Yeah.
Get a little more of this burnt sienna in here. Right in here.
Yeah, that looks good.
Thank you. I think that'll.
I mean, that's the power of gouache, isn't it? Like you can water it down to be very thin,
Yep.
but then you can go so thick it becomes super opaque.
Yep.
That's such a benefit for that medium.
Absolutely.
And it handles mediums over the top that are not gouache as well. Like, whether you're working over it in pencil or pen, it handles it all really well.
Yep. Well, yeah, because like once it dries up, it's almost like you're working with acrylic in that sense.
Correct. Yeah.
So you're able to pile on top of it. So a little bit of that burnt sienna on the scales. I think that reads quite nicely.
Just trying to negotiate around the corn cob sword at the moment.
Good luck.
Yeah. It's tricky.
Yeah.
I made it hard for myself, though.
That'll make it all the more satisfying when you achieve it.
Yeah. Like I went and did some sort of some of the sword edges are a bit snarled looking and chipped and a bit more organic rather than, uniformed. But it's also created a rod for my own back in terms of trying to get around every little shape.
Yeah. I think it works. And then going with the organic route, I think, is consistent.
Mm. Indeed.
Right? Just kind of, exploring the idea of, whether or not he forged these weapons underwater. They would be made up of more material, I would assume, like coral.
Yeah. So the big question is, Kenny, is that have we managed to achieve getting Aquaman? I did it, Mer-Man, to a point of being treated seriously, or does he still look like a bit of a joke?
No, I think we have. I think I think we were in agreement with making him feel like like the creature out of the Black Lagoon, right?
Yeah.
Giving him that kind of vibe.
Yep.
So he's not like the goofy henchman that we're accustomed to seeing out of the show.
Yes.
Because although there's not much that one could do with his facial expressions, right? Just because he's got like a fish face.
Again, no offense to anybody that has a fish face.
Yes.
I'm sure you're doing everything you can to get an expression.
We are tolerant of all people, of all
fish people. Yeah. I love fish people. They're nearly my favorite people.
But yeah, I think we did well with this. I mean, just because he doesn't look goofy. You know what I mean? He looks like he could be a real threat.
Yeah.
It looks like he'd be a real threat. He looks scary. It's got like a horror element to it.
I just realized that we both had drool hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
But, when you've got coral lips, it's going to be hard to hold it in.
Right.
That's not going to be easy.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
Give him a chance,
You know what? Maybe a little drippy drip right here off of this tooth would be cool.
The old drippy drip.
The old drippy drip. I think we're in good shape. A little bit along here, along this bank.
So where's your Merman up for sale and your He-Man and your Beastman? Kenny, are you putting them up for sale yet, or are you going to hold on to them for a little bit?
I don't know. It's
Because last week you were saying I kind of want to keep my precious.
Yeah, I mean, they're difficult to part with.
Yeah.
These are like the first couple paintings that I've done for myself.
Yeah.
Right? Just for the challenge of it.
Yeah.
But if and when I decide, they'll be up on my Etsy shop. So if anyone goes to my my Instagram, Wild Ink Studios or Wild Inks Ken, all separated by underscore, they're down there at the bottom of your screen. And you hit the link tree in the bio, you'll see a link to my Etsy shop.
Yes.
So they'll definitely be there. Okay.
And you got some good stuff on your Etsy store. I would encourage everybody to get over there and have a look.
I got a little bit of everything up there. And I still have things that I need to add just because, like, I got prints I'm going to be putting up there from some of my recent works.
Yes.
I'm going to be putting up volume 2 of The Art of Kenny Calderon. So my
Nice.
book is almost ready. So it'll be up there as well.
Yep.
Sketch cards are always going to be available, right? And you're getting some really good quality cards, right? I'm going to pull one up right here. Right? So they're right here, right? You get a nice
a little logo. Little Wild Inks logo down there.
Of course, because branding is everything, right?
That's
and
cool.
They're a nice, thick cardstock.
Yeah.
This is like 30 point, right? And you're guaranteed to get 1-of-1. So these are always signed on the back. I always do a little signature in the front. I just don't make the signature super big so as to not take away from the artwork.
And you supply with a sleeve, do you, or is that something?
Yes, I always use. I think I have some here. I use the rigid top loaders, the rigid plastic top loaders, right?
Yeah.
And they ship in a bubble mailer, so they get to you in pristine condition.
Yeah. Very cool.
So I think this one's done. I believe this is done. I'll pull out another sheet, kind of work out what I have in mind for Man at Art.
Yeah.
There we go. So here it is, guys. That is my Mer-Man.
It turned out great. I even love how you bled off the pink behind him as well.
Thank you.
It provided a nice sort of almost like a boggy mist almost.
Yeah. Thank you. That because again the cold colors, very soft cold colors actually. Like I felt like you kind of pushed the coldness of like this teal forward.
Yeah.
In the lemon, so I think it came out well. This was a fun experiment, honestly, because I wasn't sure how it would come out.
No, well, we never do. I mean, when we're trying to do new things all the time, you think, well, I'm not sure. I mean, who wants to be a cookie cutter and do the same thing over and over?
This is true.
Some things work, some things don't. Like it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But that definitely worked, man. It looks great.
Thank you. I was hoping that it would, because it would be really embarrassing to have one swap live on stream, right?
Yes. I'll tell you what, though. Like, I mean, I actually thought you were going to go darker.
Oh yeah, I considered it, but then it's like then it would feel kind of like a cop out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean, like darker with my shadows?
Yeah, I thought you were going to shift your light source to be behind him. So that he was obscured. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe I just made that up in my head, but I thought you're going to have like a very, very thin outline of light around him.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if I were to do that, it would probably stress the paper out too much,
Yes. Yeah.
and I would lose a lot of the details that I put into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the
Because
thing is that you could do that, but then you lose all that cool things that they've created. You know,
yeah,
it would work better if that was a something in a comic book. You know, where it's just
right,
one scene of it. You know.
right. Like if I were gonna do this, like if it were gonna be like something that was gonna be put in a comic book,
Yeah.
and I would block out where all of my hard blacks would be, then for sure, because
Yeah.
then that would mean that I would have a line of shadow coming in this way, coming up this
Yeah.
leg, and then up this way on his head, and then one going down the center on this arm as well.
Yeah.
I think that with the use of the purple, it still makes it feel kind of murky,
Yeah.
right? And we don't necessarily lose a lot of the little details in the armor and etching and all that, so it still feels like Mer-Man, even though like
Yeah.
there's not a whole like no one's gonna confuse him for anyone else like with the shape of his head.
Yeah.
You know, with the weird fish head, like
Yeah.
no one can confuse him for anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
There's
let's see.
there's no career opportunity to be had in being an armed robber or a Grand Theft Auto because the lineup is a dead giveaway. You know,
Yeah,
you get Merman there and like half a dozen other guys like Stratos and even Triclops, and they're like, no, dude,
like
look at him.
how many guys do you know have the
Yeah,
silhouette on his head that look like he's
yeah,
got hands sprouting out of the
yeah.
back of his head?
Even just the drop jaw, the constant drop jaw, like you know, where he's like maybe mouth breathing all the time, where he's like, and then like a bit of agnoids happening there, like agnoid problems, and
Uh-huh.
and the smell, summer day, summer heat's unforgiving anyway. Like, let alone if you got the fishman body, like
There it is. He's
the
undeniable.
the constantly moist trunks, like the naturally drying trunk. Like, no, all of it's wrong. None of it is good for obscurity.
At all. At all. There's
No.
nothing subtle. Nothing subtle.
And he's wearing gold and corn cobs. Like, there's no chance of like ducking down an alleyway to get away from the police.
No,
like, there's no.
That's as flamboyant as you can possibly get.
He's proud to be Mer-Man. I accept that.
So on this sheet, ladies and gentlemen, I'm only going to be doing some rough compositions to kind of workshop with you guys, right? And Will, I want your opinion as well.
Yep.
All right. So I'm not going to go through my traditional process and start with my blue pencil. I'm going to, just kind of go in here straight away and, workshop some different composition ideas for Man at Arms. Right.
Excellent.
Now, one of the ideas that I had is, like I mentioned to you, Will, one that sort of takes a loose inspiration from what you did with Beastman and sort of have him side profile, right? This will be torso, hips, right? Have leg extended back, one raised.
Do you want me to bring Beastman up? I think I've got it here somewhere.
And he'll have his left arm extended forward, like pointing or giving direction. Right?
There we go.
Yeah, so it'll be something similar to that. Right? But I'm gonna open up the stance a bit more so we have that nice wide triangle. Right?
Yep.
And then have his right arm raised a bit so that the mace is here, like sort of close to his face,
Nice.
right? And then we get his head sort of like 3/4, and then we get that nice big shoulder pad right here, right? So because it kind of showcases how chunky the breastplate is,
Yeah.
right? So it would be sort of like that, and then maybe some rocks, like a rocky kind of terrain. But I would do it differently with this one, and kind of do some more like slate colored or warm gray stones.
Yep.
Right? So this was one because I do like how the armor on this leg looks, and he's got like this arm itself like completely covered in armor, like a gladiator, and then this one just has that pelt boot, like he's
The
got
pelt boot.
he's got the one UGG, the one
Yeah.
UGG boot, right,
Just
with
one.
the skirt, he covered up the
Yes.
top, right,
That's gone
and then,
sideways because he wears it too much and
yeah.
has to gaffer tape it closed because it's split. Yeah.
and then the pelt, the pelt trunks.
Yes. I do love in the Masters of the Universe world that they've embraced actual pelts. They're not sort of ashamed to wear it in public.
Yes.
They're not sort of getting paint splashed on them from wearing animal fur. I mean, it's just they're happy to be out there with it.
What I find to be kind of confusing is, in the world of sorcery and super science,
Yes.
no one has created pants. Like nobody.
Right. Even I think doesn't the king still have trunks on top of his tights? Like
Yeah.
it's still like
No
they
one
haven't
thought
figured
of
it out.
pants. Just
Yeah.
singlet bodysuits.
You don't want to bring that bit of fabric longer. Like surely there's a winter.
Or at
Like
least
it's not
shorts.
there's gonna be there's gonna be a winter in Eternia. Like that's gonna mess with you a bit if you're wearing just trunks all year long.
You know what I mean?
And publicly. Like they go shopping in trunks. Although I think some of the villages have clothing, don't they?
Yeah. But I think
The
it's like
villages
more of the longer like robes.
Yeah, like it's medieval fair kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other one that I thought of, this one would be more like facing you, right?
Yes.
So I'd have his head about there. His right shoulder would be turned, right? And we would have his left shoulder behind the head to where the mace is raised. We have forearm there. And the body would be twisted to where his left leg is coming forward. Right, this leg is thrown back. And either have the hand open. He's got the mace here.
Is he facing the camera? Or is
He's facing the camera, yeah. I like that one.
Yeah. I like that one.
You know what I mean? I would face him straight on so that like center of his upper body is there. The center of his hips is here. Right? And then we'd have this leg coming forward, so his knee would be raised a bit higher. Right? And then this would be stretched back. And I would either open his hand, sort of like this.
Yeah. Get over here.
Right. Something like that.
Yes.
Or
Flawless victory.
Either twins.
Pointing would be cool.
Right?
Yes.
I think it would be overkill to kind of put like a gun in his hand on this one.
Yeah. Although you could if you wanted to, because that right arm is got the mace. Well, his left arm has got the mace raised. You could drop that arm down to his side with an open palm pistol, just smoking.
Ooh, you're right.
Like you could tuck the elbow into the hip and just have it angling out like it's relaxed.
Or that I do like that because maybe I could bring the arm down a bit to where the forearm does this, and he's holding the pistol, right? Kind of like that. Right, so we still get that nice dynamic turn in his body. Right, we still get the arm. We still get the chest plate. He's looking dead at the viewers facing us. We got the mace raised. All right, this leg is coming at us. So we can see the front of that. And then I could put a futuristic pistol, like right here. Maybe something on his back.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Did he have any other weapons in his weapon kit?
Oh, look, every cartoon had a different massive rifle and laser staff and stuff like that, you know.
He did, didn't he? Right? Let's see.
Yeah. I thought something like that, Kenny, like we had the arm relaxed. Like
okay. I gotcha. So so maybe like
not that you've done anything wrong. I think that still looks cool.
Maybe like extended outward, right? Just a little bit.
Yeah,
it's not super relaxed, but like still kind of, because I feel like there should be a gap. If his arm is going to be relaxed and he's facing us with the raised thing, and he's turning, right?
Yep.
It could be.
You could get away with it because it's turning. Yeah.
Yeah, more of a pronounced elbow.
Yeah.
With that. Right.
That would actually make a great Transformers pose there too. I can almost see like a wheeljack or something in that pose.
Right.
There's a deep dive for you, wheeljack.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, man at arms.
Do you want me to bring the reference pictures up again for you?
I'm gonna pull up the weapons. See.
Oh yes.
Like what were his like most common weapons?
Well, he had the pistol, but I think he had a big rifle too, like a.
Yeah, I remember the big rifle.
Yeah, he had like almost like a it was almost anime in the way it was so big. Like when you see the Final Fantasy swords, they're like oversized.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so it says here, according to Google. Shoot, no, that's He-Man.
If you look up Wiki Grayskull, I think Wiki Grayskull is they go to the references. They've probably got a whole bunch of stuff on them.
Here it is. Oh man. The toy had some the toy had like, well, this one is more of the newer ones. This is one of the newer man at arms. He had like a bunch of like little holsters and stuff on his back.
Oh, are you gonna do that?
It looks like he had a sword. It looks like it was a short sword, a ray gun, like a hand pistol, and then the mace.
Yeah. Nice. I kind of want to see you do all those Liefeld holsters now. I want to see that. So he becomes like Cable Man at Arms.
Yeah, check this out. I'm gonna send it to you on Messenger.
Okay.
Hold on, let me share this. That I may just kind of throw the sword in there, use the same ray gun, right, and just have like the sword hilt kind of pop out of the top there. So he's got the mace in one hand, the sword on his back, and the ray gun in his other hand.
Perfect.
Or I could put the pistol. I'll send you the link in the thing there.
Yeah.
Or I could put the pistol on his waist, have him hold the sword in this hand, and the mace back here.
Nice.
So we've got like all three showcased, and then all the cool little details with the armor.
You could even, I mean, are you thinking that he's kind of in a post-battle scenes, like he's just standing there after the damage has happened, or it'd be cool to have him in front of an armory rack or something. You'd have all the weapons, like an accessory rack, like with the toys.
Yeah. Then that would change, right? So
It
maybe
would change your pose a bit, yeah.
it would change the pose to being more.
Well, there was a mini comic where I think it might have been Fisto, where he was in a gladiator ring. I mean, that could be cool too. Like you're picking the gladiator weapons.
Okay. Yeah, I think yeah, some gladiator weapons could be cool.
Oh yeah, I'm saying all the accessories.
Yeah, right? Isn't that cool?
Yes.
So yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll do the gun here, the sword in this hand, right? Because it's not a big sword, and then his mace in the other, and then use a very loose, background or minimal background of a gladiator pit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think Whiplash was in that. Remember the lizard?
Mm-hmm.
The guy. Yeah, he was in that.
Yes, I believe that is the way to go.
This is the way.
This is the way. Because I can kind of do something where the gladiator pit kind of looks like that stage for Mortal Kombat with all the like harpoons and flags and stuff like kind of stuck in the ground.
That's cool.
Yes.
That'd be a fun short run to do too, doing the Mortal Kombat characters.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because those characters look very, very different.
Yeah.
This is how we make the sausage behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen.
This sausage.
This is how we make the sausage. I'm gonna lay in my loose.
I think I'm just going to keep throwing so many ideas at you that it becomes a big painting, and then I might actually have a chance of finishing when you finish. We could get over a line at the same time.
I'm trying to top my last one. Like with each one, I'm trying to top the one previous.
Well, I think you are. I think as we're moving, we're lifting the weights bigger and bigger for each painting. I think.
You got to.
Might get to the end and have to restart just to catch that as soon as a series.
No, man. I mean, that's the objective behind these challenges. They're artistic push-ups.
Yes.
Right. So that's. I want to be able to fit his whole body in this one. So I may have to do his body a bit smaller. All right. Let's see. So The shoulder will be raised up. We'll have his torso here, right? Shoulder is also going to be raised on the other arm. So we'll bring, will be his forearm there, bicep, shoulder, hand, right? And then we could bring this arm out this way. Is and downward.
So just a quick mention that everyone has joined us in the room. We've got about 6 people with us at the moment. I don't know how many's on Twitch because I don't have that on here, but welcome to everybody. And if you are, if you can, give us a hello in the chat so we can see who you are, because we don't get names, we just get numbers.
Absolutely.
And it's always good for us to know that we're not talking to ourselves. But welcome, everyone. If you're here for the first time, we are working progressively through the Masters of the Universe. We just picked a theme, one that we love. It could be anything. It could be DC Universe heroes, could be Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But it's just about honing our skills, keeping in practice, and teaching a bit of art to each other as well as you guys and ourselves. So please feel free to draw along, paint along with us. Share it in the chats, post it online, tag us in, all of those things. And also help us by subscribing and notifying on the YouTubes.
Yep.
Helps keep our subscribing list up and helps us to keep doing what we're doing.
So I turned off my lamp here so that you guys can see my blue pencil a bit better.
Yeah, right? I can see.
Because this helps me sort of problem solve through my foreshortening when I'm working through my anatomy. Right? Lots of circles, lots of cylinders. Especially when I'm planning through a very dynamic pose.
Yeah.
Right? Where the body is extended pretty well. Right? So then this knee is going to drop facing downward. We'll have second half of the leg like so. And bring this leg back to the foot like so, more or less. So once I work out this very general composition, right, I move over to details, right? So I know it's still a little hard to see. Right, but you can see a lot of circles there. You can see the legs. You can see the arms. This is you guys typically don't see this part of the process because I do this offline, so that when I jump on the stream with you guys, I'm laying in my clean pencils.
I think he's so magical. He just had it in his head the whole time. Just always there. It's just he's an alchemist. He's just an absolute alchemist. but now, the illusion's gone. Yeah.
Yes, the allure is gone. It's over.
The nightie has slipped. We can see what you are, Kenny.
So if I put his face forward, he's got kind of a Darth Vader-ish kind of helmet with the widow's peak.
It's a weird helmet. It's a weird helmet to draw too, because, well, I imagine I haven't drawn it before, but it's got odd angles to it.
Yeah. It's almost like a Star Wars-y kind of.
Yeah, and almost like Special Riot Police kind of helmet, isn't it? It's a funny, weird.
Put that there. Raise the shoulder up. And start laying in the bicep here. Elbow's going to be there. So that forearm, we can drop the forearm up here. more or less about here. All right, so that means that his chest will be across here. You will get a nice sort of twist in the body. Would you be there? His face really big. Like,
do you have a habit of doing? Do you have a habit of doing your heads too big?
No, typically I have a habit of doing my heads and torsos like within proportion, and I make my legs too long.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, because like the common rule of thumb is right that it'll always be like the chest will always be to the person's head, right?
Yep.
And then like the first half of the arm stops at the belly button, right?
Yep.
And then the second half of the arm stops mid thigh,
Right.
So it's like past that part, like it's the Wild West. You know what I'm saying? So I have a habit of making my legs too long in some cases. I feel like this man at arms will be a little chunkier in comparison to how I illustrated the previous characters. So extend this leg backwards, bring this foot back, ankle, calf. Right. And then we'll have the pelt off the boot. About there. Maybe that'll be pelvis. Slide up. Like this might need to be bigger. Yeah. And then sort of round out this thigh so it feels like it's coming at us. Ooh, I think we lost Will. I think his camera may have gotten a little hot. So now, let's see here. Actually, I think I'll face this arm forward instead of crossing it over the torso. So I'll bring this a little forward, put his wrist about there, then put his hand there so I can put the sword right there and the mace back here. All right. His hand there. He's got the big shoulder pad there. And he's got the forearm gauntlet. He's back.
I'm back. Sorry.
No worries. We'll bring that up to about there. Yeah. So I think I can make this helmet a little smaller for his body. Point.
All right. That's coming together already. I love that leg leaning forward, Kenny. Looks great.
Yeah, I wanted to do something a little different, than with the previous, right?
That's good.
I got He-Man kind of standing straight up. Overhead shot of Beastman. This one feels like more of a battle pose,
Right.
right? So I think, see, I can work out shoulder there, so his back can be there, and it goes to his there. This right leg is a little tricky, right? Because you have to rely on a lot of foreshortening here.
So you're pushing that one back?
Yeah, I'm pushing this one back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push this one back. All right, so this one is a bit more pronounced. So we should see the ankle here and this foot coming forward.
I love that his leg armor is different on each leg too, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's what I like about that newer version.
Yeah.
Right? He's got the standard boot on one leg, and then he's got like the leg armor in the other one. That's what I really liked about it.
Yeah.
Because now with that leg armor, we could do that really pronounced right here, nice and detailed, right? Because that makes his leg look interesting. All right, that'll be nice and chunky. Let me come back up here. All right. Now this leg is going to come over the knee. Bring this up and then bam. So now, let's see, he doesn't have too much exposure in the abs. So we can do that. Bring that forward. Let's have the big shoulder pad on this side. Actually, I think I can make an adjustment here. And bring this forearm straight back as opposed to taking it up. And then nice right there. So now, let's get some details in here before we start laying in some pencils. Bring the helmet down a bit over the brow. The eye line will be about there. Center. Brow. Actually, I like the idea of the brow of the helmet coming down a little lower. Nose. Stash. Yeah. Let's see. We've got some cool details in the helmet. So bring that up. So. Bam. I think we're getting there. Up. Like this. So this weird piece here. This chest plate. Trim in the middle. And then we got the vents. 1,
You're making me jealous, Kenny. I just want to get into Man at Arms now.
This is, man. I don't even think I'm gonna start doing clean pencils yet, because there's a lot of little details in his armor.
Yeah.
And I think for it to be as effective as I would like it to appear, like I wanna drop placement for all of those little details before I start doing clean pencils.
Right.
So then we got this big canister here, right? Some brackets, little hoses. Oh, that's the big one that goes across the chest. God. That is the big one that goes across the chest.
Yes, sir.
And you've got the big hose on the other side. Bam. Yeah, this one will definitely prove to be a bit of a challenge.
There's lots of intricacies in it, isn't there?
Yeah, and what's crazy is that it's not a lot, but in the areas that are intricate, they're really intricate.
Yes.
Like he's got a lot of little things in his chest plate, a lot of little things in the mace, a lot of little things in the helmet.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Got some buckles here. I mean, we're gonna lose that part because of the sword, but we can always put this little pipe down here. Then... So what do you got going on today, Will?
We're doing this. I got my daughter's birthday today, so we're celebrating that. She turns 9.
Ooh, goody.
9 years old. She's my youngest. So, yeah, just having fun, just chilling out, playing.
Good stuff.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, that's a good age. That's a good age.
The age of wonderment, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when my son was 9. Such a good age.
Yeah.
And he's like still, at that age, he's still like discovering stuff.
Yeah.
It's
still magical. Everything's still
everything is still magical. Exactly.
Want to keep it that way.
Yeah, for as long as you can.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Part of why I stay in this field of art is that you can keep the magical.
That's true.
The wonderment. It's
that is true, because once they get cynical.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's enough in the world to keep you grounded in 3D. I like this stuff that keeps you free.
True.
And you're still playing with action figures, just with paint.
Yeah. That cynicism, once it hits, man. Whew,
when it gets hard, it's yuck.
It's all downhill from there.
It's over.
I'm telling you. So I do like the idea of keeping my Man at Arms nice and chunky feeling, right?
Yes.
I feel like he's our what's the word? He's our tank.
Yes.
Right, and we're talking RPG terms. He's our tank. Right.
Well, if you think about it too, he's dealing with creatures that are armored and massive and like clawful and whiplash and creatures that are, or too bad, the creatures that are just trapjaw. Look at trapjaw. He's got to be prepared for it. He's just a dude.
Okay. Yeah. Then he would probably be Troller. He would be the controller.
Yeah.
He would be the controller of the campaign.
strategist.
Indeed. I'm going to bring the palm up here so that the thumb is prominent. And that pinky, ring, middle, bit of the index right there. Boom. Sword going across like so. Straight edge going here.
So I am just putting in water at the moment. Tentacles are done. And we talked a bit about this a little bit last time, Kenny, where painting water is about the notion that you're putting in the water from the bottom up.
Mm-hmm.
Tones from the bottom of the ocean or the river,
Mm-hmm.
and building it forward. So your ripples are last,
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the fist. Like so. Maybe feather the pelt so it feels like it's swooping this way.
Yes. Nothing like a quiffed pelt. In its 80s Farrah Fawcett pelt.
Yes. A wispy pelt.
Crispy.
I think this
with delightful feathering.
Indeed.
Indeed, he has delightful feathering.
Get these rivets in the belt. All right. I think I have enough set in place to where I could probably start his face, but I want to clean up some of those sketch lines before I start that.
How hard is it for you to get rid of all the blue by the end, Kenny?
Not hard at all. Not hard at all. Because
are you doing that just blue colored pencil?
This is a non-photo blue.
Yep.
So, like, if I were to try and scan this, like, it wouldn't come up in the scanner.
Right.
So, because I tend to still be very sketchy, especially if I'm working out a drawing or a thumbnail or something, and it's going to be like, I'm working on the sheet that's going to hold the final product.
Yep.
I start with a non-photo blue because by the end of it, you don't see any of it. Right? I mean, like, look at this Mer-Man. I, did the same thing with this Mer-Man, and you can't see it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, there's some places where will peek through some of the paint, but you have to look at it really closely in order to see it.
Right.
So, like, once I like drop the scan of this, like, you won't be able to see any of the blue. Same deal with the Beast Man and the He-Man that I've done prior. Like, you can't see any of that. So, it allows me to problem solve very openly.
Yeah.
Right? Without worrying about muddying up the paper with the graphite.
And some people like that look. Like, I mean, if you go to Disneyland and you buy a sketch in the art stores, the blue lines are still evident.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an aesthetic, isn't it? Like,
it's the reason why. It's the reason why sometimes I won't go super clean. When I sell an original piece of artwork, and if I have like the opportunity to, I'll use a quill to do the ink work. because
Right.
because the ink like sits on top of the paper. Like you can run your fingers across it and you can feel the raised line art.
Yes.
So it adds to the aesthetic. Where is here we go. Let's give this guy some face. Let's give him some face.
I'm just thinking it would have been cool to do Mer-Man underwater,
Yeah.
like a real creepy under the depths of the ocean kind of look.
Yeah. I agree. Maybe
Next time.
as an alternate.
One day. One day. I've done 2 Mer-Man now. That's enough for a bit.
I want to give Man at Arms here the like how you said, the old warhorse
Yes.
sort of like look in his face, like he's seen a lot of battles.
You've got the 1,000-yard stare happening, and he's just mildly upset with everyone all the time.
Yeah, like he's just
mildly annoyed at everything.
For no reason.
Yes.
He's just old and grumpy.
Yes. He's like that teacher you had in class, maybe the tech teacher, just
like the woodshop
when I was
guy.
at school. When I was at school, they're usually Vietnam vets. They'd had enough. I've had enough. I'm just doing this. I got to do this. And if you offend me or look at me sideways, I will snap.
He still comes
That's
to
the
work.
Man at Arms look. Actually, that would be fitting because a tech teacher would be able to forge his own equipment.
Yeah.
It's the attorney in middle school.
Yeah. He comes to work in army fatigues.
Yes. Smells like hard liquor.
He still tucks his shirt in though until the army fatigues.
Yes. He's converted into shorts. The socks are going to go knee high every time.
Oh yeah. Standard issue.
Khaki, knee high. Hilarious. So Man at Arms is now middle school, high school teacher. Man at Arms, middle school shop teacher.
Nice little deep scowl. Fix this nostril. Bring this eye down so it's a bit more on level. Chisel in his cheekbones. And put his mouse about there so that we can drop the stash. There we go.
Looking good.
Thank you, sir. I think
Looking good. I like his face.
Giving him some.
You got the right cheek. The cheekbone width is perfect. Like he's got a wide face.
Yeah. I think it's part of the helmet. The illusion of the helmet makes his face look bigger.
Yes. And the stash.
Of course. I'm gonna give him some bags under his eyes to make him look a bit more worn.
Yes.
right, let's see the shoulder. The shoulder can come up about this high. So we can block off his face about there. And then we're going to bring the helmet down just above the brow. Is it curved? Yes, it's a bit more curved. Turn it out. And bring it up. Let's see here. Now he's got some etchings and plating on his helmet here.
Yeah, what do you think that is? That circuitry?
It kind of does, but then again, like he looks like he's got like a combo of like circuitry and like some steampunk elements.
Yeah, it's almost a bit Boba Fettish, a bit, like is that kind of, is it a battle armor like that you control things with, or communication?
Right.
Because in the cartoon, you see the guards have all got the same similar outfit, but a dressed down version of his outfit.
Right.
It's like they're wearing off-brand Man-at-Arms.
Right. Or like he's wearing the upgrade.
Yeah. He gets the good gear, and they get the stuff. they get the Nike outfit that's not really Nike. It's sold in a marketplace on the weekend.
It's flea market.
You know it's not Nike, but you're wearing it like it is. It's got the tick the wrong way or something. Like people that know. When you know. Off-brand.
There you go.
So they're like the off-brand Man-at-Arms. IKEA Man-at-Arms.
Yeah. they're man in hands. Man in hands. Man in hands.
Yes.
No, man in feet.
Man in hands.
Yeah. No, man in legs.
That's good. Man in hands.
Instead of man in arms, they're arm and hammer. Arm and hammer.
drop down box body part, man.
There you
That's
go. That's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we do.
Stupid on next level. That's what we are.
This is what the art kids do in school. If you never wondered, they would sit at a table together and just talk crap.
This is the art kids in a math class.
Yep. Getting together, making caricatures of the teacher.
Of the shop teacher in camo gear.
Making silly cartoons in their notebook. One of the reasons why my teachers hated me in high school.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to raise some of these little intricacies of his helmet. All right, so his helmet is a bit chunky here. All right, it doesn't look like it's smooth. All right, let's see what we got here. Got a couple more the edges there. Do that there. Boom. Let's see here. Am I missing anything? Let's see if he's got anything else. Well, this one's more technical. Will, can you pull up the images that you got there, Man at Arms? I want to.
You want the The mixed one or the original?
The mixed one. The mixed one.
How's that?
That's perfect. Okay.
Is that better? There we go.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. So maybe we can do a little trim right here. A little trim. Around the opening of this helmet. That looks good. All right. All right. Thank you, sir.
Oh, good.
So that means that we can close this off here. We don't need to show like ears or anything. So that'll be the inside of there. That's the lip of the helmet right there. There we go. Let's this eye out a bit. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. Put this up. Piece on this breastplate. We got some hoses here. And we got trim to the breastplate right there.
Just doing that fun, satisfying part of just doing water droplets.
Oh yeah.
Love doing that bit.
What are you using for your droplets?
So I mixed in a neutral grey with a bit of the brown that I've been using.
Right.
And then I add in a bit of the blue to give it a bit of a greyish. It's almost like a Payne's grey with a bit of blue to it.
Mm.
And that way it's not so evident that it's white on white all the time.
Right. It pops off the white. It pops off the white.
That's right. And it allows you, because it's still dark enough, it allows you in those darker areas to add a bit of highlight to your water.
Yeah. Let's get these trims in. So, have you decided like what you want to do with Man at Arms?
Yeah, I'm going to do him on. I think I'm going to do him on the battle ram. Because I was thinking, like, there's really no. We haven't included vehicles as our paint ups.
True.
We do have the castles at the end, but we don't have any vehicles. And I thought, I kind of feel like it needs recognition. The battle ram. I was either going to do that or the Wind Raider. You know, the flying one.
That is a good one.
Yeah, so I thought the battle ram's a nice one to do. It's got that nice steely blue grey to it.
Yeah. Yes.
And I can get him fighting those hoverboat robots, which are nice, easy ones to paint.
You're right.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do him smashing into one of those guys.
Very cool.
So that'll be a nice action scene. So then I'll have Beastman as the side Tarzan kind of look.
Yeah.
Then I've got He-Man in his stoic pose above the lava, Mer-Man coming out of the water, and then a Man at Arms battle scene. And I think it'll sort of lead nicely to the Battle Armor He-Man that I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And Battle Armor Skeletor to kind of, fit to that. And I figure if I'm going to survive this challenge, I need to have some storytelling in there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
Otherwise, I'm just doing pose after pose without too much else to it. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Makes sense. I see where you're at. I can see the philosophy behind that.
Yeah.
And it's a good approach when you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, and then I can include some of those other things, like perhaps even when we do She-Ra, doing She-Ra's horse,
Mm-hmm.
or even Skeletor's panther.
Yes.
Fisto's machine cybernetic horse,
Mm-hmm.
Strider.
Yep. Okay. Now it's gonna make me step up my my thinking when it comes to planning these out.
There's so much to do, isn't there? There's so much you can include.
Yeah. Put here. Boom. Now we got this little pressure gauge here. And the hose that goes up.
So how are you going to include those back pistol pieces? You're just going to have them kind of sticking out a bit, Kenny? Or
Actually, I'm just gonna put the pistol on his hip,
oh yeah, cool.
just so that because I'll have all three of the weapons like in the shot.
Yep.
So I'll have the mace left hand, the short sword right hand, and pistol on his hip.
Nice.
Because he doesn't have anything that's like really big other than the mace. But
yeah,
I put Mer-Man's sword on his back in the last one. He-Man's holding both the sword and shield, and Beastman. I think Beastman's not holding anything. So
yeah, I think you just had him. Did you just have him standing?
yeah, I just had him standing, right?
Yeah.
So I think to kind of vary it up, I'll do that with Man at Arms. Let's see here. So then he's actually the first character that doesn't have the braces the same color of his skin.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
No flauntlets.
No, none.
What do we call them? Flamulets.
Flamulets. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like a little more thought went into coloring this guy.
Yeah. But he was a first wave one too, though.
This is true.
So that's interesting. That must have to do with the tooling, I guess, when they do their color choices, and I don't know. You think for He-Man they would have gone all out though?
Yeah, as as like the mascot flagship character.
Right. Exactly.
There we go here. Close that out. Let's think about how muscular our old man is here. The elbows pronounced. Bring this up like so. Tricep should be a bit higher. Horseshoe. Split the horseshoe. Break up the bicep a little bit. Bam. And forearm. Like so. So now we got bracelet here. 1, 2, 3. And let's think about
Interesting choice too. Orange and green. Interesting color choices.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, that it feels like that was a very popular color palette for that time.
For the early 80s, late 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was a lot of greens, a
Lots
lot
of
of
burnt
yellow.
orange. Yeah.
Yeah, that dirt orange. You know
Burnt
what I mean?
orange, olive green. I mean, I remember we had wallpaper as a kid was burnt orange and olive greens and lots of teals,
Yeah, because like I mean, think about it. Even when Kirby was still with Marvel and he was creating the new gods and
with DC, yeah.
the Asgardians. How many of those characters like were in green and red?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like green was like a very popular color.
Yeah.
Like back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, for sure.
Where I think nowadays it's blue, purples,
Yeah,
right?
right.
The cooler colors. Let's take a look at this shoulder pad over here. Shoulder. Let's give it some notches here. Very nice. Very nice. Bring this here. Push his middle finger down a little lower. And then pinky there. All right. For those of you that are watching this, right, one of the crucial keys to drawing hands is making sure that you get a curve in your digits. Always,
Yes.
always, always. So even if your index finger is straight, from your middle finger down to the pinky, it should always curve or fan.
Yep.
Right? That if you look at my hand here, from the middle finger, we always curve. And if you look at from this fist, right, middle finger curves downward to the pinky. Same deal if you're looking at a fist full on, right? From the middle knuckle down to the pinky, it always curves. So you want to make sure that you follow that pattern. It'll make your hands look much more convincing.
Great advice, Kenny. I mean, and I think, look at reality. Just go grab something and have a look.
Of course.
Like that's
like because
that's
I
great.
pantomime a lot of the things that I do in comics. Like
Yeah.
I'll be in here and I'll stand in the mirror and just kind of do the pose
Yes.
myself.
Yes.
You know, there've been many a time Melissa walks in here and she's like, I know she like questions her choices. In those moments, she kind of does the face palm and goes, "This is what I signed up for."
It's more the dress up you put with it, though. That's the problem. It's the pantomime of it all, really. I get the mirror pose, but do you have to have the cape on? Like, you have to.
It's got to be real. It's got to feel real.
Why are you dressed up as the miraculous girl when you're doing something? I don't understand.
It's for a project, baby. I swear.
Yeah. This is work, all right? This is work. Why can't you take me seriously?
So yeah, it's always helpful, right? If you don't have, well, let me rephrase this. If you find it difficult looking for references, right? Like Pinterest is a great one, great source for references of looking for poses and just kind of understanding muscular anatomies, right?
Yes.
But another great thing to do is kind of pantomime it yourself,
Yeah,
right? So that you can see how weight distribution affects the form.
absolutely.
Let's bring this all the way back to the elbow. And we're going to get a little bit of the bracelet in there. We're poking out there. So then here, we want to flatten the hand out a little bit, right? Because we're looking at this hand from the elbow up. So we're going to get that pudgy part of the hand right below the thumb. That's going to be prominent.
The big meaty palm.
Indeed. I call it the chicken thigh thumb. Because doesn't it look like the cartoon chicken
Yes,
thigh? Right?
yes.
The,
I'm gonna use that now, Kenny. It's gonna be
you know what
one
I
I
mean?
bring up in class. Yep.
Doesn't it look like the chicken thigh from the
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny cartoons?
Yes. I just think of the Red and Stimpy chicken. Remember the one who used to be in the fridge all the time?
Oh
Yellow,
yeah.
yellow on the phone. Yeah. And he married it. Remember Stimpy
Yeah.
married it. Yeah. Those cartoons were a trip.
Yeah. They wouldn't last in this day and age. We're gonna do that. I think that index finger is a little too
Yellow.
I think out of all of the characters in Ren and Stimpy, my favorite character was Powdered Toast Man.
Oh yeah, yep.
Powdered
Yes.
Toast
Man.
Man. And he would fly,
Yeah.
and he would
He was
fly
pretty
butt
good.
first,
Yes.
leaving the trail of powdered toast and
Yes. And kind
cinnamon.
of half rescue people, but not really. They'd be all like maimed or murdered. Yeah. Some of their side characters were funny. Like I love the horse,
Yes.
Mr. Horse. He was
Yes.
great, and Jimmy Lummox, the big guy.
Mhm.
You know.
Such man.
Remember when he adopted Jimmy? Was it Jimmy Lummox? He adopted him Kowalski as a Saturday weekend dad or something. He was. He took him on that picnic. You know.
Yeah.
What do you want to eat, Kowalski? Meat. What do you want to drink, Kowalski? Meat. Okay. Funny show.
Today's youth will never know. Or the
Funny times. I used to watch that and then head off to art school. It was very funny.
that was my Saturday morning.
That was it? Nice.
That was my Saturday morning. Ren and Stimpy, and I
Yes.
think, and you know what? A lot of those jokes didn't land for me because they were too adult for my little mind.
Yes.
You know, like which was that the sawing of the wood.
Yes. Yes.
You know, you know what I mean? I sat there so confused.
Yes.
So confused. You
Yeah.
know, or the one where they were in space.
Yeah, that was a bit of a trip, that one.
Yeah, the one where they were in space and Ren was hallucinating, thinking that
Yes.
the bar of soap was an ice cream sandwich.
Yes. Yes.
You know, you those of you that are like Gen Z or millennials, you guys don't know what you were missing.
Yes. Go. I don't even know if you can buy them anymore because
Oh yeah,
there was
Oh,
a bit
yeah.
of controversy with the creator, wasn't there?
a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think they're still licensed under Nickelodeon.
Yes.
So I think those are still available. But the new Adventures of Mighty Mouse
Oh yeah, yep.
was fantastic.
I
I
remember. I
love.
remember the original. The original was good.
Oh yeah, that I loved. I loved the introduction of like that Animal Justice League
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
with Bat and the Bug Wonder, which was that little flea that tipped
yeah.
that would sit on Batman's
That's
shoulder.
cool, man. Yeah. I'll tell you what. If you did a run of prints for that, they'd sell.
Ooh, that's a
I
good
reckon
one.
that'd be fun.
That is a good
A group of
idea.
those at your table, Kenny. And I reckon you could get those done pretty quick too.
Yeah, yeah. That's that style is always fun to work in.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit of a shape crescent here. Now he kept that breastplate pretty simple. Put a little seam here, at the back, right around the edge. All right. Let's pronounce these knuckles a bit. I'm going to leave this blank for my sword. I'm going to do a little referencing for the mace because there was one that I saw in my research that I liked that I'm going to.
You going super chunky?
Yeah, it's the real chunky one.
Yeah, right.
There's a real chunky one that matches the aesthetic of the shoulder pad that he's got on his
Yes.
arm, right?
Yep.
Where it's got these like these blunt notches on it.
Yep.
And then
That's cool.
the short sword is going to be pretty simple. It's going to be
Like he's carrying an axle from a car or something. You know, it's like massive.
right. So then get in here, just kind of very loosely trace over the lines that I want to keep. I'm not going to worry too much about shadows and such, but definitely get in all the little details, right, that will be a part of the final product. How you doing over there, Will?
I'm just doing water. You can see I'm doing some of the splashes.
Ooh, okay.
Cool.
Very
A
nice.
bit of sunlight coming through the wall there, but
I like
There
that.
you
That like wave effect is nice.
thanks, man.
That's nice.
So just I put it in the sand, the dark sand first with a bit of blue in it. And it's just
Great effect.
cerulean blue with the green. Darken that right down, and then I start building up my lights, my ripples. And I think the most important thing with water that I've found is that I visualize the feeling of it as it's rippling in. Like, what's the cause? What's the cause and effect? Is it going to be lapping on that? Is it, is it going to? Is it just going to be calm ripple? Is it going to be doing a little bit of a curl?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll just bit of this, and then I'll do the corncob sword, and then I'll be finished. I think
that's a really nice effect. Now, when you do those, I guess would you call it the crest of the wave?
There, yeah.
Is that like drier? Or are you going like heavy with the gouache on that?
Thicker. Like generally, I think if I had more time, I'd probably let that dry. And then I'd come in with the thicker white gouache, but I do want it thicker. Like I can, it's almost stringy when I apply it. And I've basically cleared a spot on my palette where it's straight gouache, but because of the heat,
right?
Yeah, the gouache is almost becoming stringy and drying.
Yeah,
as I'm going. And I just added a little bit of sand in there because it's kicking up the sand as it's turning.
that's nice.
You know.
That is very well done. Hey, Charlie. So Charlie is one of my students from my Tuesday online class.
Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
He's a very, very talented young man. So check this out, Charlie. This one's all done. I'll zoom out on this so you can see how that turned out. He's one of my comic and cartoon kids from my Tuesday.
Oh, very cool. Well, he's in good hands with you, Kenny. Lots of experience.
He's a very, very talented young man. He's one of the kids that makes my job easy for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is how that turned out, Charlie. Right. All right. So now I'm working on the next character. Right. Working on. I just wrapped up my composition phase, so I'm laying in all of my final pencils, right, and adding details as I go in.
Let us know what you think, Charlie, in the comments.
Yes. So let's see here. Where was I? So this thigh, because I want this thigh to be pronounced. As a matter of fact, let me pull up this other. Okay. It's like a knee. So this thigh, I want this thigh to be kind of pronounced. Just gonna get the armor piece in the knee here. Charlie, your Pokemon piece should be arriving tomorrow. FYI, okay. I saw the tracking information today, so you should see it tomorrow, buddy. So I do this activity with my kids once a month, Will.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like my version of Pictionary.
Oh, you told me about this, I think. Yeah.
So my kids love it because, not only is it like a fun little activity, but like, the winners, right, that come out of the little activity, right, get the commission for anything that they want.
Yeah, that's cool.
So like it serves a couple purposes actually, because one, it teaches them how to convey very clear messages with their artwork, right?
Yeah.
So as to not overthink compositions and getting the sense for sometimes the simplest approach is the most effective.
Yes.
Right. And it also encourages them to really hone the way that they draw.
Right.
Right. To not sort of like stay in one space and, because most of the time, especially like 10, 12-year-olds, they're doing it for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now when you start to think about how an audience is going to read your artwork, now you start thinking outside of yourself and consider how someone who isn't familiar with you will interpret your work.
Right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
They don't know the backstories.
Exactly. So you want to be able to give your audience enough context, right, to where they can understand the subject matter, consume the art the way you want them to, right,
Yes.
so that they can perceive the message clearly, right? So they do that, and then I rattle it off in single word prompts, right?
Yeah.
And man, like some of the stuff that these kids come up with, because obviously, what I would interpret one way, you could probably interpret a different way.
Yes.
So, it makes for some really interesting results. Right. And, I've had some really interesting requests, for for what somebody want for prompting. Right.
Yeah.
But Charlie's an avid Pokemon fan. So he's always up to this point. It's always been like these epic Pokemon battles.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask if Melissa's caught you in a Pokemon outfit.
No. I don't own any. I don't own any.
They all say that.
She's been interested in like cosplaying for like.
Is she?
Yeah. She, because when I took her to Puerto Rico Comic Con for the first time, she
saw
loved.
it. Yeah.
She loved. That was like her first convention, so like she loved the way people like really built their costumes and
Yeah.
And I told her because of the fact that she comes from like a corporate background, right? Like
Right.
something in the realm of popular culture is something she's never been exposed to.
Yeah.
So I told her, I was like, at these things, you'll definitely find something that is going to trigger the little girl in you.
Yes.
And sure enough, she saw a bunch of stuff. She even saw a family. It was a family that builds their own cosplay, and they come cosplaying in theme.
Right.
So like one of the days at Puerto Rico Comic Con, they all dressed up as like Mandalorians.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, so they were all different Mandalorians, right, with different like color palettes in their armor.
Yeah.
The following day, they were all members of the Justice League.
That's fun.
You know what I mean? And like
that's a lot. That's a lot of preparation.
It is.
That's a lot.
It is. That like I had a conversation with the dad. I was like, "How do you guys like?" He's like, "Oh, we have the machine. We 3D print parts of the armor."
Yeah, right.
He had a working Gatling gun, like a mini gun.
Of course he did. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That he did. I was really, really impressed.
Yeah, working Gatling gun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with the invention of the 3D and resin printers. Like, they can do that stuff. It's not like they've got to do sculpting and silicon molding and casting. They can get away with it by doing it that way too, can't they?
Yeah. I mean, he did cast his own helmet.
That's no easy task
at all. So I was, trust me, I had a bunch of questions for him. I asked him because he looked really impressive. And then right down to the daughter's boyfriend, he was in on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's when been accepted in the family.
I'm telling you. And like even Melly was into it. She she was like, "Oh man, we should probably cosplay one of these years out of con."
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. Let's do it. You want to do.
Didn't twist your arm too much.
I mean, cause I've never dressed up at a show.
No.
I'm usually there in the capacity of as an artist and showcase. But sometimes you got to be corny with your significant other.
Yes.
You got to do the cornball stuff.
Well, it's going to happen when you're old. You'll wear matching sweaters, so you might as well get started now.
Shoot, I do that now. I do that now. You know what I mean?
You're the family at Disneyland and all had the same T-shirts. Oh, yeah.
I do that now with her. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
She's the best.
That's great.
She's the best. It's always good when you can find someone that you can be corny with.
Yes, absolutely. Not be embarrassed.
Yeah, she's definitely my little cornball. So here we go. Nice pronounced leg here in the foreground coming at us. Let me see. Let me get this foot in place.
All right. I think that's it for the water. I'm just going to start on the corn cob sword now.
Nice. Oh, you're in the home stretch.
Home stretch, nearly there. I can keep noodling away at this water forever.
No, and it's like super satisfying. I'm satisfied
Yeah.
as well.
It is pleasing to sit there and do it.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's nice to get to that point where you're not doing the anatomy. You think, oh, I'm just going to do this.
And it's like the polish phase.
Yeah, a little breather.
I'm going to do the principal rivet right here in the center. With these smaller ones off to the side. I think he's the only one that's got like a jewel in the. You got a different colored jewel in that main rivet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like red. He's got like a gunmetal color for the belt and the wrist gauntlets, right?
Yeah.
And he's got like a red jewel like right in the middle of his.
What color are you doing his trunks?
Oh, I'm going with the black. I'm going to
Yeah.
do black gloves and then the black trunks.
Yeah, I might go with the OG colors too, I think.
Yeah, because I feel like
the terracotta's a bit much.
it really is.
I think it's a bit much, dude. Like,
you know, and I feel like it'll fall more into what we've been doing here with these characters, right? So
yes.
Making them a bit more serious.
Yeah. And it'll fit your black gloves that you're doing.
Yeah. Let's see here. We're going to split the side muscles here. We get another split there. And you get another little split in here. I'm going to bring the calf muscle up behind the thigh a little bit. Drop the calf down like so. And plant the foot. The ankle in there. And then we're going to drop the pelt right over that.
All right, we are in the home stretch, Kenny. We're nearly at the 2-hour 40 mark.
Man, already, huh?
Yeah, it's going along. So I think probably we'll wrap it up in about 20 minutes. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
And then next week we'll jump straight into Man at Arms.
Yeah.
Charlie's got a question for you.
What's your favorite drawing that you've ever done? Wow, that's like trying to pick your favorite child.
and yet you still do it, but we won't talk about that. Every time.
Every time.
Don't tell the others, but you're my favorite.
So it's hard to say, Charlie, because there are illustrations that I've done that have been on a technical level like my favorite. Like, you know, I've executed them well, right? But then there are illustrations that I've done that have a personal significance for me. Right? So like they may not look really good, but they hold a special place, you know, in me personally because of the meaning behind it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say, but if there was anything that I can go back to that I feel like would be I guess one that's like one that I could look at for a long time and feel kind of proud of it would be it's a Superman sketch cover that I did some years ago for a client. And on the cover was Clark Kent sort of like opening up his shirt, taking his glasses off, and then like behind that was an image of Brainiac in silhouette with like inside of his alien ship with cables and such. And then when you opened up the book off to the back cover, where it was a shot of Darkseid, Lex Luthor, Doomsday, Krypton exploding. I made it feel like it was like a whole big montage, like a movie poster.
That's cool.
And me being a Superman fan, like that was
Mm.
one that I really, really hated parting with.
Yes.
But there's always gonna be something that like will be near and dear to me, but the reasons may be different.
Yeah.
You know what, Will? Let's direct the question to you. Is there anything in the body of your work
Mm.
that
That stands out as my favorite.
yeah,
I suppose it's similar to you. It's ones that I can stand looking at for more than 5 minutes.
right,
But I think it's usually my latest one. But I'm usually in love with the piece I'm working on. But I think it's ones where I feel like if I was sitting in the comic realm
mm-hmm.
more than any other, it'd be ones where I feel like I won over the piece. Like I actually captured it. And for me, like we're both in the same company. We love Superman to death. Like
Mm-hmm.
this, we know. But I'm doing a Kingdom Come Superman at the moment,
Nice,
and it's nerve wracking because I love Superman.
yeah,
But at the same time, it's when you get to that point where it's working really well, it's satisfying. You think, oh yes, I've done it. I finally got to that bit where I could sit and look at this piece and be really happy with it. So,
right,
or you know what? There's areas that I've conquered in this piece that I wasn't able to conquer before, and I've achieved it. So it's like you've got your PlayStation level on lock.
right.
I've got the next bit done. So yeah, so it's similar piece. I mean, I did a Superman piece a few years ago in color pencil
Mm-hmm.
for that had Lois and Superman. It was a 1950s one, and I sold it. I wasn't really wanting to part with it. I was just going to frame it, but I just sold it, and that's the one. Terry bought that one,
Yeah,
but that was one piece that just stayed with me for a long time because I was just happy with it.
yeah.
In fact, so much so that for a long time I put a big price on it to try and deter it from selling. you know, because I would have
Yeah,
been happy to keep it.
I know that feeling all too well. I want $1 million for it.
yes, all of those things and more for sure.
Yes.
But generally, it's the piece I'm working on now. Like that's because that's the latest challenge,
Right.
and it's not always a piece that's commissioned because the commission is sometimes always determined by the patron. So they won't always put things in that are challenging to you, or perhaps are your passion pieces. So
Right.
for me, it's usually the ones that I outline for myself to do.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot who was it that said that. Was it Dolly?
What's that?
That he was asked of his entire body of work.
Oh, Dali. Yep.
Yeah, like what would you say is like your best one? And he said my next one.
Yes. Yeah. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I can totally see that because there's things that I've done for my clients that have been good, right? Because
Yes.
again, like I look for the challenge in everything, which is why I'll never walk away from anything that's commissioned of me, right? Like I don't
Right.
like there aren't things that I won't do, if I'm commissioned to do it, or
Yes.
like if it's like part of a contest or something,
Yeah.
just because I enjoy challenging myself that much.
Yeah.
So I feel as though, you know, when it comes to things that I do for myself, which which unfortunately isn't very often, uh,
Yeah.
it's got to be something like big, like this, for example,
Yes.
right?
Like this.
Like a
Well,
challenge like
this is
this.
this is a monumental sketch run. I've never done one this long. This is going to be a big one for us.
Yeah, because
It's going to be quite the body of work when you're finished.
because outside of He-Man, when I was in like
Yeah.
first grade, when the cartoon was brand new or something, right? I've
Yeah.
not drawn He-Man, right? So
Yes.
to draw He-Man now as a developed artist, and the characters from those shows that I loved growing up as a kid, right?
Yes.
That for me is like, a challenge all in itself. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like, as a kid growing up, you hold these IPs in like such regard just because they were like a source of your whimsy,
Yeah.
when you were a child. So it's
Right.
like you want to do them justice, while you're working on them in your style.
Absolutely. Like I felt that way about the Hanna-Barbera piece as well.
Right.
Like just being able to do those characters that I'd never sat down and drawn before. Like
Yeah.
that was a fun piece to do. I'd probably do another one.
Yeah.
It's and you learn so much from what works and what doesn't.
So much.
I would completely change the composition on that piece again, just to gear it up a bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. That I haven't drawn like Voltron since I was a kid.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Transformers for me. I've never done a Transformer.
Transformers I've done in recent years because I got a client that like loves Transformers. So every time
Well, you
she
did
lets
that
me
great
do a show-
Starscream one. Remember that one? The Starscream one? That was
Ooh,
fantastic.
yeah.
I remember you showed me that. I was like, whoa, man, that was clean.
I gotta show you this one that I did for a client. He asked for a transformer of the ship from, was it Battlestar Galactica?
Ooh, okay. A Cylon ship or one of those ones.
I think so.
Yeah.
I gotta look for the actual name, but I have the image.
That's cool.
And so like I completely, like, just based off of the design of the ship, I came up with.
You designed your own Transformer.
I designed my own transformer from it. It's from the Last Starfighter.
Oh, right. Jeez. Wow, that's
From the Last Starfighter, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm going to DM it to you.
Like 1985 or something. When did that come out?
Oof. Long time
ago. Yeah.
I just DM'd it to you on Instagram.
Oh, I'm going to have to check that out.
But yeah, dude, that one was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That one was a lot of fun.
So did you do the ship and then you did the character?
Yeah.
Like what was on the
like the old blister card. So it's like, it's the robot and then like what the robot transforms into. I even did like the little grid with the white lines by hand.
Oh, you're killing me now. That's amazing.
It was super fun. Super, super fun.
That's
really
amazing.
Happy with it.
You did the techno purple and grey grid, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I went with the stark red because the ship itself is like it's all white. It's like white with some gray hits.
Yes.
So I did the same color palette for the robot, except for in the design that I did for the robot, the thrusters for the ship could be used as weapons. So like as
Nice.
blasters on the forearms, right? So those are like I did like in the cerulean blue, and then
Yeah.
with the stark red and with the white lines, like the grid lines, like it pushes
Yep.
everything forward. It pops out really nice.
That's why they call you the king. Kenny the King Calderon. That's why they do it.
Nah,
That's
I'm
great.
hardly the cake.
That's very cool, man.
But when it comes to little things like that, where it gives me an opportunity to kind of like really flex a
Yeah.
muscle that I didn't know I had.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's when it's most satisfying.
I'm waiting for that sensation when we do the Transformers run because I've never done mech before. It'd be interesting to have that feeling, or maybe a muscle that people should never see. Either way.
Me personally, I think that you would benefit greatly from it.
Yeah.
Because just kind of looking at the work that I have seen that you've done, like you do rounded curves very very well, very beautifully, right? So now you would be sort of like challenging that muscle that's typically
It's not non-organic shapes. Yeah.
exactly. Right, because when it comes to like line of beauty, the golden triangles, and those, like you're awesome at it. You know what I mean? To where it translates beautifully when you do portraits and such. But now,
can I ask a question? Then, when we do it, are we going to do the little vehicle at the bottom, like a mini version?
Ooh.
Because I'm thinking I'd like to do that. Do the actual figure and then the tiny little version of the vehicles at the bottom.
Let's do it. It's all about the challenge, right?
Yeah.
All about the challenge. I like that. Let's do it.
Because then you can see the transformed version,
Right. And you can see how you've repurposed like those sections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to have a go at the Insecticons, so that'd be fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. What then? Are they Gen 1? I don't know. I don't know the gens.
Yeah, the Insecticons are Gen 1. The Constructicons.
Yes.
Right? That would form Devastator.
Yes.
The Dinobots.
Were they Gen 1?
They were Gen 1.
Wow.
They were Gen 1.
So what class is a Gen 2 then?
Gen 2 would be after Transformers the movie.
Oh, right. So Hot Rod.
Hot Rod would be Gen 2.
And Cup, Galvatron, all those ones.
Galvatron would be Gen 2. The really big truck that would carry the parts.
Ultra Magnus?
Ultra Magnus was Gen 2. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can say that everything after Transformers the movie, that's Gen 2.
I love that movie. I just love it.
Great.
Oh, Orson Welles. Like, how do you go past that? And Leonard Nimoy, like, doing the voices.
Oof. Yeah. So definitely. Gen 1 Transformers will do the mech, and then like what it transforms into.
That'd be cool.
Love that idea.
Just a little Matchbox car version down the bottom.
Right.
Like a micro machines sort of size.
Right. Or even just kind of an overlap, right? Like, well, you'll see when we're off stream. You check your DM, you'll see what I did. Because it looks like the blister card for the toy.
Oh yes, I love that.
So that this way you're not totally committed to doing the vehicle or the item that it transforms into. Because really, you want to look at the robot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're just doing a little version.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that would be another stream in itself, trying to get the the automotive car looking exactly how it is, or the jet.
So let's see here. His mace kind of looks like a strut from a car.
Yes. Now, because you know these guys better than I do you want to put the list together for this one?
Yeah, I can do that. There'd be a lot of the classic guys, and we can include, well, since it's 52, we could do half Autobot, half Decepticon.
Yes.
And do at least one of each of the groups that turn into like a giant mech.
Yes.
That'll be a lot of fun. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. So we've got chunky handle. You know what? His mace looks like the leg off of a piece of furniture. It looks like the leg off of a coffee. If you look at the mace, it looks like the leg from a coffee table.
Nice. No offense. I'm laughing at you.
You've got the coffee table leg.
Got the coffee table leg, son. What are you doing?
Ready to go.
Could you find anything else? Like, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? How's your spawn challenge going, Kenny?
Good. I just dropped my she spawn for my weekly submission. So I put out a question on my Instagram story to see what I should draw for the final week. So the final week challenge is any villain from the Spawn universe. So we have such a big array of villains in the Spawn universe. It's going to be fun to let the followers pick what I do. Because after that, he chooses the winners.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Like last week of January, he's going to pick the winners.
So explain to everyone what it is, Kenny, for those who don't know what it is.
So the Spawnuary Spawn cover challenge is where each week in the week of January, you would illustrate a cover for a Spawn book, right? So week 1 was Spawn himself. Week 2 was Gunslinger Spawn. Week 3 is any one of the Scorched or a group shot of the Scorched, right?
All based upon the Spawn universe that McFarlane created.
Right, all based upon the Spawn universe. I don't want to cut the mace off, so I might have to tilt this back a bit. So, and then week 4, it's any Spawn universe villain, right? So you can enter as much as you like. If you go to Todd McFarlane's Instagram page, he'll have a link that you can click on, so you can sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter, upon signing up for the newsletter, you get an email where you can download the official blue line paper that you have to do the illustration on. You can print it up, or you can do it digitally. And then he's got rules for the contest on his page. All you got to do is post it to Instagram, tag the 2 Todd McFarlane accounts, right? And in the caption, use Spawnuary as the hashtag and Spawn cover challenge in the hashtag.
There's been a lot of entries, isn't there?
And there's some heavy hitters. Heavy hitters that like.
So any big names doing it?
As big names, not so much, but definitely some guys that are like indie guys that I've been following for years that have done like some high profile stuff.
Yeah.
That like, I don't even honestly I don't even know if I'm even going to be noticed like on that level.
Oh,
But it's always
you never know, man. You got to be in it. You got to be in it to win it.
That's true. That's true. And honestly, even if I'm not like picked, even if none of my covers are picked, it's fine. I did it mainly for the challenge, just to say that, yeah, I can do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was able to execute like something cool, for the contest.
I'm finished. Done.
There we go.
Finally got over the line.
Check that out, ladies and gentlemen.
There we are.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Those colors are nice and vibrant too.
Yeah, nice and chunky.
Oh yeah. Beautifully done.
All right. So we are at the 3-hour 2 mark.
Yes.
So are you happy to press pause on that and we'll continue next time?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. And then I'll start sketching next week while you start your painting.
Yeah.
So just to do a bit of a shameless plug for both of us, Kenny, can you tell everyone where your Etsy shop is and what's for sale on there briefly?
The Etsy shop is Wild Inks Studios, all one word. And my Instagram handles are on the bottom of the screen. By hitting up the Instagram handles, you'll be connected to everything else because I have links to all of my socials, all of my shops, my whatnot page, my email, so that you can hit me up directly for commissions, and what else? Oh, and my portfolio. So if you're interested in getting some artwork done for cover work, for sequentials, my portfolio link is also included in the Linktree portion of my Instagram.
And like and subscribe to your YouTube channel, Kenny. I've noticed It is growing. All of these things are helpful. In terms of my stuff, it's all available at the Art of Will Played on Facebook, Instagram, you name it. It's on the Art of Will Played. It's just about the handle on all of it. Yep. And the same with the Etsy shop. So the Etsy shop, again, is all linked on my profiles, but you can just look up Art of Will Played and then you'll find it there as well. And on Pinterest, if you want to get on Pinterest and have a look.
Ooh.
So it's also on there as well. So what we'll say is we'll say goodbye now. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining us once again for our MOTU drawing challenge and putting up with our madness. And hope you had a bit of fun. I know I did. And yep. And next week we battle on with Man at Arms. So have a great week, everyone. Indeed. And look after yourselves.
Absolutely. Be good.